Hey, this is Jeff Muir, Director of Client Relations at Beal Properties, and here today with Joe Hammel from the Fire Realty team. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good. Joe and I wanted to get together to do a short tutorial video and introduction video to talk about first-time purchasers of investment properties. And one of the reasons Beal Properties has been successful and that we're growing is that we find people or people find us, and we work well together, different elements of this business. So we do property management, and Joe has started, the Fire Realty team, and they specialize in working with people to buy investment properties and income properties. And so we have developed a really good partnership. So I wanted to, do a little interview with Joe here today. So Joe, the reason that we like working with you is because we know that you guys find good properties for people, and you tell people the real situation. Detroit is a very hot area right now for people, especially out of state, buying income properties. And there's some kind of tricks to the trade, which we're going to go through here a little bit today. So maybe you can tell me, like, when did you start the Fire Realty team, and kind of what motivated you to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for quite a few years now. We specialize with investors that kind of stemmed from me being an investor prior to, and I kind of, I became an agent and very quickly realized that, helping investors was an untapped niche in the industry. There's very few agents who understand how to do that, are good at it, and are willing to do it. It's kind of a lower price point at times, but we realized it's something that we could do and do well. And FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, and it's been treating us and our clients pretty well.
I assume so.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different animal, in terms of finding these specific types of properties that are going to really work for people. So that's why we like working with you and your team. So I wanted to ask you, what are just a couple of tips, that you would, that you would give to people who are watching this, who are thinking about, they're ready, maybe they've got the resources and they've done their research, but a couple tips to get started, with buying their first income property.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is to do your education, read your books. We kind of are assuming that you've done that at this stage, but once you are introduced to either, yourself at Beal or us at the Fire team, we can pretty much be your one-stop shop in terms of resources and helping you get something under contract. The easiest way to do it is to take our advice. It's something that we are investors ourselves. Every agent on the Fire team is an investor and has rental properties. The same with you guys, I know, at Beal. So it's something that we've seen it, we're doing it ourselves, and we've seen hundreds of people do it. We're very motivated, both of us, I know, for our clients to succeed, because as investors, if deal number one works, they're going to buy another deal and another deal. If deal number one fails, they might not buy number two. So we're extremely motivated for that first deal to work. So we're not going to sell you something that's junk. So just keep that in mind. And when we're giving you feedback on what's a good deal and maybe what's not a good deal, that's the biggest thing. Don't chase the shiny object. Those $5,000 houses look pretty tempting at times.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but those are where the horror stories come from. So it's just something to be open to. Yeah,
that's something we love about your team. The fact that people are not only doing their job, but they have personal experience in their own life, and they've, not just learned it in a book, but they're actually living it with their own investment properties. That makes a big difference, because then you're going to spot things that other people won't spot, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. What are some super hot areas right now for finding not just good deals, but quality deals? And the reason I ask this is because for sure our area is out there, in the world. The calls I get every week from, people in California, Texas, Florida, Utah, all over, and they know that the Detroit area is a good place to get really good deals for investment properties right now, but there's a lot of nuance in there. So what, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about Detroit, Metro Detroit, is we have the whole range. We have the $5,000 house, we have the $500 to $1 million house. As the farther you get out, and the rest of the nations, you see it in the conversations. They're like, oh, I can't find cash flow. Is this negative cash flowing deal a good deal? We're sitting over here just eating cash flow and ROI here in Metro Detroit. And I'm going to let out a big secret here, but the primary balance, the main balance of price, ROI, and location, all three of those things. The ring cities, it's those suburbs of Detroit. And there's certain markets within Detroit as well. And then even further than that, but we do a ton of deals in those, ring cities, the suburbs. That's where you find that balanced price, ROI, and location of, $80K to $130K. They rent out for 12, 13, 14, even 1,500. You're getting double digit ROI, a couple $100 cash flow, and those are decent markets. Those aren't what they call a war zone. Those are solid neighborhoods. And we have clients retiring off of those deals. They're really good properties to buy and build a portfolio of.
Yeah, and for sure, we have the exact same experience. There are good neighborhoods and properties in Detroit, but there's also some that are going to be really difficult versus when you talk about the ring cities, we're talking about like everything that borders the city of Detroit and close in. So like Wayne, Westland, Wyandotte. I didn't mean to do all W's, but what are a couple other ones that are right there? East Point.
Yeah. East Point, Warren, Redford, Harper Woods, all of those, you just look at a map, everything that touches the city, you're probably going to find that balance that we're talking about. And, and again, you talked about how do you succeed as a first-time investor. That first deal is so much of an education. Pick up one of those, we call them bread and butter deals. Pick up one of those deals and then figure out what you want to do for the second deal. Say it was, that was too easy. Okay, well then maybe go more aggressive. Or, hey, this is so good, I'm going to switch to this type of market. Most likely, because we sell a lot of houses, you're probably going to be like, hey, I want another one of exactly what I just bought. We know that that's what you're probably going to say. But
give me another one.
Yeah, exactly. But pick up that education on that first type of deal that's, not going to bury you. And you described it well earlier. Difficult, there's different levels of difficulty, and that's the one.
And I think of them as shorter term versus longer term. Like a difficult property is still a great investment. It's just for the buyer and the investor knowing this one is going to be 6 to 9 months, but it doesn't mean it's a bad deal. It's just they need to be in a certain position to do that versus other ones where it's going to be really hitting the ground running. So yeah, and as someone who grew up here, like I've seen different areas develop and change over time. Ypsilanti is a perfect example. I mean, 20 years ago, this was not a place anybody wanted to necessarily invest in except Stuart Beal. And now, it's a completely different situation. And then when I look at and I'm out in these ring cities, I can just see like, oh man, in 5 years, this is going to be, the values are going to be so much higher. This is the time,
Yeah, we send out a monthly newsletter to our clients, and that was one of the data. It's just a ton of data. A data point we looked at was the appreciation of Warren. In 10 years, it's averaged 17% appreciation. I mean, people don't look at Warren and think, oh, that's an appreciating market. 17%, that beats the 3% average for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, good. Okay, so let's introduce your team here. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show people your website also. And one thing I love about your website, can you see it here?
Mm-hmm.
I love this on the bottom, popular price range, average rehab costs, average rent range. you're educating people right off the bat. You know, this is what kind of typical average, whatever deal, there's lots of deals on either side of that, but you know, it's going to take a little bit of money to get it going, right? And but yeah, these numbers are exactly what we see.
Yeah.
So go to firerealtyteam.com and get started with Joe and his team. And I've worked personally with almost everyone on here. Definitely Joe, Ani, Mike, Nick, Richie, Jessica. They've all helped people buy income properties, and then we've come in to, you know, manage those properties and help them continue to grow their portfolio. So you guys have a really broad breadth of experience. And again, you've said all these people own their own investment properties.
Yeah, and that bottom row is who you're going to talk to initially. They're your, whether you're buying in state, they're going to do your showing, out of state, they're going to do your video and pictures. All four, you know, Mike, Nick, Richie, Jessica, they all have rental properties. They've all sold a lot of houses to investors, and they really know their stuff. They're very good. You know, we're not door openers. We are high level consultants and negotiators. And it's a different level of service, you know, than just clicking, show me a house to a Zillow agent. You know, it's a different game that we play.
Yeah.
And it's the only way we close as many deals as we do. You know, you gotta come at that listing agent from a different angle, and you gotta share a perspective with your clients. And, you know, something that we've developed over the years that works pretty well mutually.
For sure. Yeah. And both our companies, you start working with us and you've got, you know, basically consultants on your side from these two different ends of, you know, the business. Because as you know, Joe said, we both want you to grow your portfolio and, you know, work with you. And we have so many clients we've worked with who started with one property, and now we manage, you know, many for them. And we've, you know, been a part of helping, you know, guide them through that process, as has Joe and his team. So go to firerealtyteam.com, or you could go to gobeal.com and click on management services. If you call me and want to talk about, you know, how to buy your first income property, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough, and then I'm going to, you know, send you over to Joe and his team. And if you call Joe and ask the same thing, he's going to probably tell you, you know, here's some things to get set up. You know, think about property management. So
yeah, and I know
anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, I know you didn't ask me to do this, you know, but the reason we're on the call today is, you know, we're kind of, you know, we try to provide our clients with a list of resources and people that they can use to succeed, whether you're local or out of state. And so again, because of that, you know, motivation of we want you to buy multiple properties, we want you to have a good experience. It's why we do so much business with you guys at Beal Properties, because we know that the client is going to get taken care of. We know that they're going to have good communication. You get a lot of compliments, Jeff. And, you know, the clients are going to have a good experience, and they're going to get maximum rents, which is what everyone wants. And it's just going to maximize their asset. And then they're going to come back to us and buy another property, and we'll both, you know, financial independence, retire early, a couple of years.
That's it. All right. Well, thanks for getting together with me for a few minutes today. And, you know, everybody watching this, if you have questions, you can go to either one of our web pages. My email is jeff.muir@gobeal.com, and you're joe@firerealtyteam.com.
Perfect. Yep.
All right. Have a great week. And we will hopefully be talking to some new people who just got us today on this. All right. Thanks, Joe.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.